Thank you, Paul. Thank y'all for coming. And for your Texans, especially ones who went to College Station, howdy, y'all. As Chairman Gozer said, I represent Texas 22, which I'm proud to say is the most diverse, the largest, going on 1 million people district in America. And we also have livestock there, cows that produce emissions, farts that the New Green Deal wants to stop. I want to thank our chairman, my good friend Paul Gozar, and my also good friend Steve Daines for coming here. Steve is here from the dark side. He was one of us in the House until a couple years ago, but we're so thrilled to have him there because the House has changed dramatically with Steve's presence there. Y'all are from Texas. We are your assets. We have it all right around Southeast Texas. We have oil. The Permian Basin, for example, is not here, it's out in West Texas. Y'all know their prediction after prediction in the next 2 years that one single American shale play will produce more oil than any country in the world except for Saudi Arabia. You throw in Bakken, Marcellus, Barnett, Eagle Ford, you name it, Haynes, we have a time to have energy dominance. And we've got it all here, as I mentioned. You're going to see some oil drilling operations. You'll see natural gas. You'll see nuclear power. Talk about that down in South Texas. And by the way, nuclear power is very safe. It's clean, but it's extremely safe. Hurricane Harvey hit that power plant dead on. Northeast quadrant of a hurricane is where the strongest winds blow. That hit Bay City, where South Texas plant is dead on. Never, ever flickered. And we also saw how important it is to have a diverse portfolio of energy. For example, tomorrow we go down and see Petronova. I'll talk about that later. But that's a big power plant called Parrish. And they have 8 power generators, 4 natural gas, 4 coal. The natural gas was blowing and going during Harvey. The coal was until it got wet. You can't light wet coal. My point is, natural gas, nuclear power kept Texas the lights on during that terrible, terrible storm. And we Texans like to brag, don't we? What state is #1 for wind production in America? #1. Texas. Well, #5 in solar, but that's coming pretty quickly. And you also see offshore operations with BP tomorrow or later today. We learned so much with Macondo. That was BP's rig out there. The Gulf was very safe for drilling. Guys, think about what we're doing out there in the Gulf of Mexico. We're drilling down with a rig that's floating with currents. Put a string that's probably 5 miles long in the ocean for at least 15,000 feet, almost 3 miles before it makes a turn in the seabed. And somehow we get that oil up and natural gas and bring it to our shores and export that all across the world. That's amazing. And I have to brag one more time about Texas 22 and Petronova. You'll see that tomorrow. The Liberal Democrats, the Green New Deal, their big thing is carbon capture, which is great if it can be supported by the market. We have an example here of how that works. It's called Petronova. I talked about the energy power plant with the coal natural gas. On their own, with this little help from DC, they spent almost $2 billion to capture carbon out of a coal-fired power plant. They grabbed about 98% of that CO2. But they don't just put it in the ground and absorb all that cost. They tapped into an old pipeline that goes 85 miles southeast and gets down there with Hillcorp's assistance to make that viable, because it's like fracking fluid. More pressure, more oil, make money. Market, market, market. And our committee has not had too much of the new Green Deal yet, the Green New Deal, but it's coming. but one point about how bad this is for their party. A very fiscally conservative Democrat has said, slow down. These are big dreams, but they have to be paid for. Have to be paid for. Who said that? Barack Obama. So thank y'all for coming. Go Texas Tech Red Raiders, but most importantly, go Houston Cougars. Going down Kentucky.